What's up, guys? My name is Not Explosive, and today I want to talk about a problem that plagues us all, and that problem is Relinquished. Now, for those of you who don't know, Relinquished is a ritual summon monster whose 1 star has stats 0 attack, 0 defense, and the effect that it can be activated once per turn, I believe. And when it's activated, you can take 1 monster on your opponent's side of the field and equip it to Relinquished. Relinquished gains the stats of the equipped monster. If the monster that is equipped is face down, Relinquished gains no stats. And this is a problem for some of you wonderful people out there, because some of you, in fact most of you, are phenomenal duelists. I've seen some of you get Master of Oz or Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon out on the field in turn 1, turn 2, turn 3, and it's crazy how you do that. But Relinquished yanks that monster away from you, the monster that you just fusion summoned or the big beater that you just summoned, and equips it to Relinquished itself. And not only do you lose your own monster, now you have to deal with the opponent's Relinquished, who also has access to that monster's stats. And there are more and more players who are playing Relinquished decks simply because it's easy to access. If you've been to both Pegasus events, you should have 3 copies of Relinquished and 3 copies of Black Illusion Ritual, which is the ritual card to summon out Relinquished. It doesn't help that Relinquished is a 1-star ritual monster, so that literally any card can bring him out. And today I'd like to make a video, and if you're seeing this, well, I've already made it, obviously, but this video is going to be about countering and playing around Relinquished. The first counter to Relinquished is to not let him come onto the field, and that is by negating the ritual spell card that your opponent will play in order to bring Relinquished from the hand to the field. Cards that do this effectively are Magic Jammer and Magic Drain. And not only do these cards, these spell negating cards, function as anti-Relinquished support for your deck, they also function as disruption for your opponent's deck if they aren't playing Relinquished. And playing spell negating cards, it's satisfying because if your opponent thinks he's going to bring out Relinquished and then make a mess of your field, make a mockery of you as a player, it's satisfying because you deny your opponent that feeling of just destroying you. Another method that works almost as effectively is using back row destruction to destroy the card equipped to Relinquished. Other cards that work almost as effectively are cards that destroy back row, such as Dispel and Twister, as well as Gravelstorm, which does not destroy cards but allows you to remove back row from the field back into the owner's hand. And so using these back row destruction cards, it's very satisfying to see your opponent's card that's equipped to Relinquished just pop back into the hand or move into the graveyard. Relinquished has 0 attack, 0 defense, and then you attack and destroy Relinquished. Now maybe destroying your opponent's spell cards or negating your opponent's spell cards is not exactly what you want to do. Maybe you just want to get the great feeling of just removing Relinquished. And so you can do that with cards that are hard removal. But cards like Yosef or Minchazur or Order to Charge, they're effective at removing Relinquished at the board, but they come at a cost. And what that cost is for example, with Minchazur, your monster has to be destroyed, right? Or with Order to Charge, you need to tribute a normal type monster. With Yosef, you need to set a weak monster in defense position in the hopes that your opponent attacks with the monster that you want to destroy. There is another hard removal spell card called Last Day of the Witch, which is excellent at removing spellcaster type monsters because that's all it does. It destroys all spellcaster type monsters on the field. The problem with Last Day of the Witch is that some decks just don't run any spellcasters at all, and so it's a dead draw against some of them. So this card is not as splashable as the rest of them. But if you do have Last Day of the Witch, it's very, very simple, very easy, very effective removal for Relinquished. There's also the option of soft removal. And what soft removal is it's cards that usually allow Relinquished to be removed from the field back into the hand or the deck. These are cards like Quillpen of Galdos or Hain, and for some of you new players this could be Gale Lizard or this could be Guardian Statue. The reason that soft removal is almost as effective as hard removal is because once your opponent's Relinquished goes back into their hand, they need to use another ritual spell card and have another monster to be ritual material to resummon out Relinquished. So your opponent needs 2 pieces in order to resummon out Relinquished once again. And with soft removal, the reason it's effective is because your opponent now needs to regain the resources in order to resummon out Relinquished. This means the ritual spell, this means another monster, usually, and this gives you time to build up your resources and put pressure on your opponent and go for game. Divine Wrath is another excellent card against Relinquished. Problem is, it's an ultra rare and can be a little bit difficult to get. How Divine Wrath works is you can activate it when your opponent's monster's effect activates, so it's a counter trap, and i.e. in this case, Relinquished. But when your opponent's monster's effect activates, you flip it, you activate it, you discard a card, that monster's effect is negated, and the monster is destroyed. And Divine Wrath is a good card because most decks run effect monsters that have effects which you do not want activating. So these effects could be anything from Display Rider or 4-star Ladybug of Doom to something as strong as Leviathan Dragon Daedalus. Finally, if worst comes to worst, you can always just attack Relinquished twice in order to destroy the monster equipped to him, and then destroy Relinquished itself. The problem with this is that Relinquished does not always have a weak monster equipped to him. And since Relinquished does not always have a weak monster equipped to him, it may be insufficient or inconsistent for you to attack into Relinquished twice, especially if there are other targets on the board which may pose even more of a threat. I do firmly believe that Relinquished will receive some kind of nerf. Maybe he'll be semi-limited to 2 copies, limited to 1 copy, or maybe outright banned. Tell me what you think in the comments below, but I think that Relinquished is a fairly easy deck to play. It's fairly consistent if you have the right cards. And it is a very, very effective deck to play, because if you're playing in a mirror match, your Relinquished could steal your opponent's Relinquished. Or if you're playing against a regular player, you can just take their monster and then attack directly if they only have 1 monster in the field. It's a very, very effective card to use, and I feel that it is a little bit too strong for the game currently. If these tips were helpful, please leave a comment down below, give this video a like, and subscribe to my channel for more helpful content released every now and then. And thanks for watching.